Hello my dear students, here is again your computer Bunsam, and today I will show you an example for arrays. Arrays are less of a data type but of a data structure in effect. However, they can be handled as a data type in very specific ways, namely by the declaration. I will show you what I mean. You can write int array odd numbers. Now the interesting thing about an array is that you can save multiple values in there. An array is not a variable in itself. However, it can be used as a container for variables of the same type. So they can save information of the same type, like this array does, for instance, for numbers which are in the integer type. So we can't save any decimal numbers. However, we can save any number which is just integer from -2 billion to 2 billion. But at first we need to assign something. We cannot do it like this, where we say odd numbers equals 8, because then you see the error. You cannot implicitly convert type int to int array. To create an array, we need at first make sure that it is in fact created. Odd numbers equals, and then we need to write down what we want to do with the array. But at first we need to create this array as a new array. New int array. This is something you need to do, because without this it doesn't specify whether it is a data set of arrays or just a simple variable. As soon as you have created the new int array, you need to open your brackets. There's another way too, where you can just write down new int 8. This creates an empty array of 8 numbers with the value of 0. If I say odd numbers, then you will see that it is a type systemint32 array. The problem is that the odd numbers cannot specify in itself what number we need. So what we need to do is technically the same, odd numbers, open brackets, and then let's say odd numbers on the place of 5. You will see that will be 0, okay? The specific thing is this new int 8 creates an array of 8 different zeros on 8 different positions. So the first one value is 0, the second value, the fourth, the fifth, the 8th value are all 0. And just for clarification, the first value is the value on the place 0. To declare what values the array needs, we need to delete the 0 here, and then we need to open a bracket and close a bracket. So now it has an empty array. If I press 1 again, it will create an exception, because there is no value on the position 0. We need to create them at first. As we have an int, and we say it's odd numbers, we can say 13, 7, 21, 29, 1, 5, 7 again, 9, and 313. Okay? 5 times 7. You also, as you can see, you can also use calculations which are similar just to the simple arrays in here. So we press 1, and now you can see it is 13. And then we can choose the specific position of one of the values, let's say 8. And then let's press 1 again. Then we get 313. This is this value. Then we press 9. And we get 35. So this is the simplest way how arrays work. We can just choose what value we need for an array here. However, this is a little bit boring. I do it back with just 1. Press 1 again. And you will see that it just creates the same value over and over again. In this case it is 7. However, this is not the only thing you can do with arrays. Arrays have such an amazing feature. because they can be used with loops for every way possible. And this is where the for loop is much more better than the while loop in any case. Because the for loop is technically the same, but with the small marginal difference that you need to prepare 3 different values. I will show you what I mean. For, open bracket, int I for increment equals 0. I is smaller, then something odd numbers dot length I plus plus. So what is this odd numbers dot length? Odd numbers dot length means the length of the array. So how many values does it have? We can create it like we can show it like this: console dot writeLine odd numbers dot length. Then we will see at first it has 10 values, and now this is the first part. This is this thing with the 10, and now you can see 7 7 7 7 7 7 7 7 7 7 7. We have already created something like this in beforehand with a while loop. So yeah, it doesn't seem too exciting. However, console.writeLine odd numbers on the place of 1. And as you can see, we have int I. Int I means that that this value always increases by 1 as soon as it ends the loop. So we are starting with 0, 0, then it opens 7, it closes and checks is I smaller than odd numbers length. It's true, and it goes on until it gets to the odd numbers length, which is 10. And as you can see, we have 10 times the number 7 here. As you can also see, you have odd numbers on the place of 1. What happens if we use I for this? As you can see, it's again the little bug here with 10 and 13. This is because console.writeLine sometimes can't handle it correctly for program is. However, the first value is 10. This is the odd numbers length. We can comment it out technically. This goes by using these 2 lines here. And now you will see 13, this is the first value, 7, second value, 21, 29, 1, 5, 7, 9, 313, 5 times 7. 5 times 7 is 35. And you can use these arrays for so many different things without making anything way too complicated. For instance, you can create any question and any answer just by using a specific place in the whole array base. And this is what we are going to do after this now. Here we have again our example of our little quiz game. As you can see, it has question, correct answer and given answer here. We need to change a little bit the formatting at first, so that we make sure that only string given answer is alone. And now let's try if it works. It's 4 hoofs and gives milk. Bear, cow. Okay, correct answer, you won. It works. So this is the first part. We have the quiz here. Now, however, we do something different. We create arrays out of this here. What we need now is we need to change this here at first into questions and correct answers, and this thing here into an array. So we have string, questions, correct answers. Second step is that we are going to use these questions and create a new string array. And again, this time we are creating a string array based on our own questions. So we don't use this empty string here, but we are using this here. At first we can copy this question and paste it here, and then we can get rid of the question here, because this could create a problem in our case with question and questions. Also, we need to make sure that this isn't question but questions. So we console.writeLine questions. And by the way, if you press 1, you will see that there are multiple errors anyways. The first and foremost is this one. You need to make sure that there is a semicolon at the end. This is something that happens to me always. We have questions and correct answers. Questions is already arrayed. And then correct answers, we do the same. Correct answers, new string array. Open brackets, close brackets. By the way, you can press enter to get the brackets fast. And then we write the first answer, which is cow. And again, don't forget the semicolon. Now I press 1 and it gets confused because the name correct answer does not exist in the current context. So we need to get rid of this correct answer. And this interesting thing here is while correct answers not equal to given answer, you will see what happens the other two. You cannot be applied to operands of type string, array, and string. This is because we have this type. This is a string array, and this other type, this is just a simple string. We cannot compare them anyhow. What we need to do is set the specific value we need for a string. So in our case, let's say correct answer 0. Now let's press 1. What happens then? System.string. Why is there system.string? The answer is quite simple here. It is the same problem here with correct answers and questions. Questions is the data type of string array. And this is what it shows out, what data type this is. So we need to make sure that we have questions on a place of 0. We didn't change anything at the moment, at least not seemingly. What we have now is a basis to create a quiz with multiple questions, in fact. What we can do now is add a second question. What animal lays eggs? 2 feet. What farm animal maybe? Okay. And then the correct answers, we can say chicken. There are multiple possibilities again. So, now let's see what happens now. What animal is on 4 hoofs and gives milk? Cow. Again, the same procedure. The problem is that we only have this single question here. If we change the correct answers to 1 and the questions to 1, then we can get the second question. As you can see, I press 1. What animal lays eggs and goes on 2 feet? A bear? A cow? No. A chicken? Correct answer, you won. This is already quite interesting because we have now the possibility to choose either 0 or 1 for a specific question. However, this doesn't seem too interesting. What we can do is use these questions and bring them in, let's say, start in the row. So start with the first question, and as soon as it is answered, go to the next question, and go to the next question, go to the next level, and so on and so forth. And this is what we can do again with a for loop. For int I for increment equals 0. I is smaller than, you can choose now, we either questions or correct answers. Let's say questions dot length I++. And now, again, technically in this case you don't need the brackets, but I think it looks a little bit better, and for especially for beginners it is good for to understand how these brackets work. Okay, while correct answers 1 not equals given answer, console.writeLine questions 1. What we need to do now is just replace the 1 with I, and now I will show you what happens then. So we have for int I is equals 0. I is smaller than questions length, which is in our case 2. We have 2 questions, and then I++. So what we can do now is while correct answers, then it goes to the second loop. While correct answers I is not equal to given answer, console.writeLine, please write the question. Let's try it out. What animal is on 4 hoofs and gives milk? Give an answer, console weak line, bear. What animal is on 4 hoofs and gives milk? Again, we are deep in the while loop and we cannot leave the while loop until we have the correct answer. So, as soon as we give the correct answer, cow, we get the second question. What farm animal lays eggs and walks on 2 feet? If you write down cow again, this is something that happens when you are programming. Sometimes there's this bug with program is that if you try to write something in the console, there is some sort of error in this case. This is what happens here now. No matter what I write, it is the same error. What you can do against this is here, select everything, Control A, Control C for copying, and then Control V for inserting again, just to make sure that you have inserted this same file. Now refresh the site. You can press F5 for it, and then Control V, and as you can see, there's the code again. So as I've said, this is a little bit of an error that sometimes happens with programs. What animal is on 4 hoofs and gives milk? Cow. What farm animal lays eggs and walks on 2 feet? Cow. It's 1. Bear. Lion. Chicken. Correct answer, you won. Now just for perfection's sake, we can write down the correct answer also. So console.writeLine, correct answer, and then let's press 1. What animal is on 4 hoofs and gives milk? Cow, correct answer. Chicken, correct answer, you won. So as you can see, this is how it works for any questionnaire, for anything you want to create via these questionnaires. And you can choose your own questions, and you have also the possibility to create questionnaires with multiple possible answers. So, but until then, I'm quite happy that you have shown up to my course. I can't wait to see what you are going to create with these beautiful questionnaires. Your Computer Bonsam.